Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Fayetteville. I am so glad to see everyone. We have a fantastic speaker today. We have Mr. Chris Whitehurst with CW Dressings. He's going to come and tell us a little bit about his business. So without further ado, let us welcome Chris. Chris, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Miss Register. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and share my business and my background and, how CW Dressings was started. So I'll jump right into it. So I was raised in Jacksonville, North Carolina. My dad was a Marine stationed at Camp Lejeune. He was also food service in the Marine Corps. So that's pretty much where I got my background with cooking and decorating cakes and all types of food service abilities. I got that from him. In 2001, I joined the Army to become a culinary specialist. During my 20-year career, I served in many key leadership positions, from platoon sergeant to first sergeant, general's aide, dining facility manager. So every last one of those jobs gave me a certain ability to perform at the level that I am now. And I would definitely have to say my food service background, being a dining facility manager, really prepared me to do what it is I'm doing today. Although in the past, when I retired, I always thought about what I wanted to do, and I never really wanted to do food. I wanted to stay away from the food aspect. But I guess as long as I'm not in anyone's kitchen or my own kitchen, I think what I'm doing now, making dressings and salad dressings and marinades, I really enjoy that. Just recently retired, September 13th, at the rank of Master Sergeant. Did 20 years and 7 months total. Married. My wife's name is Cynthia. We have 6 children and 8 grandchildren. Pretty big household when everyone comes visit for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But as of right now, it's just me and her in the house, so it's pretty quiet on most occasions. Fast forward to how CW Dressings began. I started CW Dressings September last year while stationed at Fort Bragg. The original date balsamic vinaigrette recipe was created actually in 2017 when I was a drill sergeant at Fort Jackson. I started eating healthier, started eating more vegetables and more fruits and more salads. And one day I just, happened to be at Walmart, and I actually read the back of the label on the ranch and on the Thousand Island, 2 of my favorite salad dressings. And I was, shocked by how many ingredients, that's listed in those salad dressings. And I was like, wow, I'm eating vegetables, I'm eating more salads. Maybe I should try to eat a healthier salad dressing, if you could say. So I did what I do best. I went to my kitchen, started experimenting with different flavors, olive oils, sweeteners, and I came up with the original recipe for the date balsamic vinaigrette. Now, back then, it didn't really have a name. It was just something that I like to eat for myself. Fast forward to 2020, my unit had a potluck at work, and usually I don't participate in potlucks, but for this particular one I did. And I ended up bringing 2 of my salad dressings that I make. And after looking at everyone's faces when they were eating it and all their compliments, it was being passed around loudly, and everyone's very excited about, hey, you should really put this in a bottle. It really needs to be on a shelf. And I'm like, nah, it's just a salad dressing. And I started to think a little bit about what it would take to bottle a salad dressing, took that idea, balled it up and threw it away. But as I was gearing down toward retirement, I had roughly a year and some change left. I started to, wonder what I was going to do after the military. Really didn't have a real good idea. I knew I wanted to do something for myself. I knew I did not want to get a job. I did not want to punch a time clock. I was real adamant about that. And, days and even weeks after that potluck, fellow soldiers and friends were still saying, hey, you need to put that dressing in a bottle. And one day I really sat, thought about it. My sergeant major asked me one day, what was I doing? And he called me to his office. And he was like, hey, you need to put that salad dressing in a bottle. So he went out of his way to have a full-blown 30-minute conversation with me about why I should bottle my date balsamic vinaigrette. So thought about it again, talked it over with my wife. And within 30 days, I started my LLC, started designing my bottle, started, perfecting and experimenting with the ingredients again, located a co-packer. And within, 4 to 6 months, I had my first production run of my date balsamic vinaigrette. Now, fast forward till today, and CW dressing started September of last year. We are in, of course, October. So starting today, CW Dressings is currently in 14 retail store locations. We'll soon to be 15 by the end of the week, and I'm adding more weekly. I'm currently in discussions with another 4 more retail locations in Raleigh. I'm in 8 locations here in Fayetteville, 1 location in South Carolina, soon to be 3, and 2 locations in Virginia. During that time, I also was asked to do I guess you could say, a column in the Fayetteville Observer. So I have my story in the Fayetteville Observer. And I'm gonna scroll back up here. Within the next, I would say 3 to 4 months, I will have another product coming out. We have just wrapped up testing, and the sample will be sent to the NC State Extension for testing to get the ingredients panel. It will be a date hot sauce, and it will be very, very hot. Very, very hot sauce. It's going to be nice, sweet, sweet in the beginning when you first taste it, but on the back end, it's going to have a lot of heat on it. And one thing I like to add about my date balsamic vinaigrette salad dressing is that it's not only a salad dressing, it is also a marinade. So you can marinate chicken, steak, seafood. You can saute with it. You can also barbecue with it if you choose to. Although some people like to call it a barbecue sauce, it is not a barbecue sauce. It is made with 100% organic deglet dates, which is the main ingredients. And it also has extra virgin olive oil in it. So no soy, no soybean oil, no canola oil. It is vegan friendly, diabetic friendly, and it also has no added sugar. When I was making the recipe and I revamped it several times, I went back to that day in Walmart when I was reading the ingredients panel. So I only wanted, minimal and good ingredients in the dressing. And I think I accomplished that. My customers, they definitely love the dressing. I have repeat customers over and over, shipping cases pretty much all around the world so far, even to Germany and Korea. And my customers, they really love it. Social media, you can find me and my company on Instagram and also Facebook. And at the below there is my direct contact information. So rewind back to 2020. I didn't imagine that I would be doing something this big, but just within a year of operating CW Dressings, we've come pretty far. And also, I like to add some of my day-to-day, I guess you could say, hurdles with running CW Dressings would be funding. I started CW Dressings with my active duty paycheck. I am in the process of going back now, backtracking, obtaining my certifications, minority-owned business certification, hub certification, and also service-disabled veteran certification. I just submitted those within the last week. Secondly, another hurdle would be marketing. If I could expand on my marketing and my website presence, maybe up my website sales. And when I say marketing and website, I'm gearing more toward website analytics support, that all that back office stuff that I don't know how to do. As far as being ranked in Google, all that stuff like that. It's very important when you're trying to run a business, especially an online business that you can use online with, and also work from home. Third, I would say tax, not necessarily tax preparation, but tax strategy and tax consultation about, just the key important aspects of running a business and how that goes along with your day-to-day taxes. Knowing what to deduct, knowing what not to deduct, how to deduct it, at what time do I change or reform my LLC to a corporation, those type of things. I would say those are three areas in which I think I could use a little bit of help with running CW Dressings. And other than that, that's pretty much it for my slide. I only had one slide here. I wanted to make it real quick, but I guess I will open the floor up for any questions, if there are any questions out there.
Chris, I have a couple of questions and a couple of comments as well. You mentioned tax. Most entrepreneurs say if they're asked at a later date after starting a business, they say that they struggle with the accounting part. So most of them would recommend hiring an accountant. So that may be something you may want to look into in the future. What other marketing resources are you using other than social media? I actually have been to your website, and I think it could be made a little more exciting. I mean, other than social media and your website, are you using anything else for your marketing resources, your marketing tools?
Yes. In the beginning, I used to frequent farmer markets on Fridays and Saturdays to promote the business. But now what I've done, since I'm in 8 locations here in Fayetteville, what I do now is I support those retail stores that support me. Like for instance, today at 11, I'll be at Home Food Market in Rayford doing a date balsamic vinaigrette sampling. I also do this frequently at Pate's Farm Market, both locations of Grapes and Hops. So on Fridays where Grapes and Hops do their wine tasting, I'm also there to do dressing sampling as well. I have a LinkedIn account, but I don't really use it too much. As of right now, I'm still a one-man show. So I do all the record keeping, I do pretty much everything myself. It's just me. So, being everywhere on social media right now is a little difficult, but I do make a very good attempt to support those local retail store locations that support me by going there, doing a dressing sampling.
And also, I noticed on your website, you mentioned Mike's Farm. Maybe not the healthiest place to dine, but we always enjoy going to Mike's Farm, so I'm glad that they are supporting you in your venture. Have you looked into contacting Langdon Farms or Tart Farms in the Dunn area to see if they may be interested, or maybe even the farmers market in Raleigh? And since it is a healthier alternative for salad dressings, what about some of the health stores that we have locally? Have you contacted any of them?
Yes, I have. I have contacted. I often reach out to many different locations. As far as the farmer markets you mentioned in Dunn, I'm not familiar with them, but I am also currently working with Fort Lee, JCCOE, which is the Joint Culinary Center of Excellence. This is one of the departments that I worked in, when I was in the military doing my food service MOS at Fort Lee. So Fort Lee is the home of food service. So I just recently emailed them my ingredients panel, and we're getting the initial work done to be able to do contracting with the government.
Fantastic.
Chris, if I could interject, I'm Kent Hill. I'm the director of the Center for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Small Business here at FTCC. And I have a background in consumer packaged goods, and I have to congratulate you on the incredible progress you've made. That's quite a journey to get through all the testing, labeling, packaging, distribution that you've already achieved. And you'd mentioned bookkeeping and marketing, some other things like that. And I just wanted to make you aware. I put something in the chat and I can email you later, but we offer free confidential business counseling, and we have some subject matter experts in marketing, in bookkeeping, in operations, distribution, just about everything. We don't do tax advice, legal advice. We're not CPAs or attorneys, but we can help you with a lot of things. Do you have a business plan?
I do have a business plan. And the phase that I'm in now with my business plan, of course, I had to backtrack several times. One of the phases that I'm in now with my business plan to expand CW dressings is to work with my co-packer to obtain gallon containers of the date balsamic vinaigrette, because I wanted to start reaching out to independently owned restaurants and see if they could use the product to replace maybe one of their lower selling salad dressings on their menu, or incorporate it into one of their current menus. So that is the next step on my business plan. And as I mentioned to several people and one of my mentors before, I certainly have no issues with flying under the radar for a while. A lot of folks always asking me, what about Food Lion? What about Sprouts? What about Walmart? That's a goal, but it's more of a long-term goal. I really would like to build a sustainable local presence before, reaching that level of business.
Yeah, we can talk about all that because, I've worked with all those grocery chains, including Walmart, excuse me, and I can tell you the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly part of working with them. And
Yeah.
so you have a very special product, and it should be maybe not mass marketed until you've exploited all the top level specialty markets. and really built the brand up. But anyway, that's a long story, but our services are free, and we'd love to work with you if you'd like our help. So just wanted to let you know it's available, and I think it's a pretty cool product. I look forward to going around the corner from where I live and getting some at Leclerc's and giving it a try.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Chris, what is your current production capability, and what percentage are you using that production capability right now?
Right now, production wise, I'm in my second production run as we speak. My first production run was 600 bottles. And, one of my biggest fears when I first started CW Dressings was, okay, I can sell this to friends and family, but how long is it going to take me to get, to sell my first production run? I was really nervous about that. But fast forward, stayed focused, applied myself. I sold those 600 bottles within 51 days. My second production run was 780 bottles. And I just counted this morning, I have 15 cases left. And I just picked those up roughly 24 to 25 days ago. So for me, being a one-man show, I think, I'm doing, the most that I think I can. I could probably do more. But as far as production, I'm probably at maybe, I would have to say 35-40% of production. When it comes to terms of, when it goes back to the funding, me being the one doing all the heavy lifting, the ordering. One thing that I also do is when my cases are finished being produced, I drive to Charlotte myself and pick them up. And then I drive them back here to save on shipping and freight costs. It's only a couple of hours away from here to Charlotte. So, but I think I would say by the middle of next year, I think I would probably be at possibly doing a production run every month. Now with my new product, my date hot sauce, a lot of stores are already saying that they want to carry my second product. A lot of people are saying they already want to buy it. So going into the second phase here, I'm definitely going to have to lose some sleep, and I might have to look at hiring my first employee at some point here in the future.
What is your lead time in production?
I probably have to say maybe 3 weeks.
And what is the shelf life of a bottle of your balsamic vinaigrette?
So the shelf life is going to be roughly 1.5 years.
And how many followers do you have in your network?
Right now on Facebook, I have about maybe 600 to 700. On Instagram, which I just recently started using more. I was always the person to post on Facebook first. But then I learned you post on Instagram, you can share it to Facebook. So I have about maybe 200 or so followers on Instagram. And it's growing daily. I do attempt to make a post at least 3 to 4 times a day. But, I'm the one building the content, posting it, and pretty much sharing the information along with friends and followers.
And are you doing anything like a Facebook Live, Instagram Reel that demonstrates you putting this on an amazing salad so that folks really get to feel it and see it?
No. And I'm laughing because I was saying to myself a long time ago, I need I need to up my video content, and be more personable, make those lives. And that's something I definitely don't do.
Well, all the strategy and everything else is great, but you're still going to have to implement and put some of these things in place. And if you're not comfortable doing that, Chris, you need to find someone who is and who loves to do it,
Right.
can help you come up with what are the things you love to do, and then let them provide the support you need. Otherwise, you're going to miss some opportunities.
Right. Definitely. That's definitely understandable.
Chris, can I make a few comments here?
Yes.
I'm looking at your website, and I kind of agree with Lori on this, that it needs some work. Actually, your slides are graphically are much better than your website. So you might want to incorporate some. There's nothing wrong with white space, but it just looks really empty. And what I'm thinking, first of all, let me just congratulate Kent on his comments. I couldn't believe how far you've gotten. I love your bottling. And the fact that you've got so much done already at this point. A couple of things that I would recommend. Number one is you need to increase your line a little bit. So get on that hot sauce and then start thinking about some other things before you come out of the shadows and start really competing. I think you're doing a great job getting it into local stores and stuff. I think you should talk to Kent about some of these big box stores and Walmart, things like that. I think you really need some advice on that, because it's a tough market to get into and a tough market to stay in, and their margins are not all that great. So now I'm going to tell you the biggest thing I got to tell you right now is I'm looking at a picture of you standing there, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on this venue, but it's badass. And you don't have that on your website. I want to buy from that guy. I want to hear that you are a Marine from North Carolina. You know how to make sauces. I mean, we'll go with the stereotypes on that and just say a Marine or Army guy, from North Carolina knows how to make sauces, and it looks very commanding. That picture, you need to get that on the website.
Okay.
It makes it personal, and it gives me the confidence that you know what you're doing.
Right.
So I would continue that. I like the logo that you have on your bottle with regard to your Army background. So I think that's a really nice deal. Anyway, I just wanted to add those things to it. But I would definitely get in touch with Kent and take his advice on this.
All right. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that advice.
I think it's important you also emphasize that your sauces and dressings can be healthier and that are more natural than some others, because there are a lot of people today with either health reasons or just want to be healthier that are looking for options like that, because there's so much pre-processed stuff in the market that has a ton of salt and other things that you're not supposed to have. So I agree with both Kent and Ken all the way. I would kind of go back to what Kent said about looking at some of your higher end specialty stores before you necessarily go to the big box. If nothing else, look at the Cracker Barrel, because they all have the little stores, retail stores connected with them that you can specialty items. But there are a lot of little shops here and there that tend to go higher end on things. But I think you have a good product here. I do like your packaging as well. I agree with Ken on that. And you're right. I think you need to put a little bit more you into it, because that's part of your story. And why you did this, you're not just another dressing or another sauce out there. I think your story needs to be told, and I think it adds to your product when you do that.
Yes. Yes, I definitely appreciate that advice. I struggle with the decision to put me more up front. I don't know. It just, I didn't necessarily want to be the face of it, but I kind of just wanted the packaging and the bottle and the product to speak for itself. But just like my Sergeant Major always tells me, you're the story. People are going to buy because of you. So I definitely understand that, and I'll work, towards making that change.
For instance, your official title, CEO,
Yes.
Yeah. You have now realized probably that it stands for Chief Everything Officer, since you're doing deliveries and
Yeah.
all the stuff. But yeah, you are the story, and I agree with Ken's comments. Great photo, and you got to put yourself out there. If Bill Gates can do it and put himself out there and become a great salesperson, certainly you can do it.
But I do slightly
Definitely.
disagree with what you said, because you said people will buy it because you. I disagree with that. I'm gonna buy it because it's a good product. I will try it because of you. So you're gonna be the hook that gets me to try it, but I'm gonna continue to buy it because it's a good product. Cheryl, you had something you want to add?
Real quick, have you approached Food Lion?
I have not. I do know that they have a section in the back for local products. I've
they're
done a
local.
little.
And they're a North Carolina business.
Yes. Yes.
So,
I'm making a note of that.
okay.
And Tristan would like to know, how long did it take you to open your first store, or to be in the first store, I should say?
My first, well, a quick story. When the label that you see here on this bottle was not the original label. And it went back to, in the very beginning, I had this thought that I wanted the bottle to be more, I guess you could say, more home feeling, more country feeling. And I just had a simple white label with the name on there. And one of my customers who loved the dressing said, yeah, the dressing is great, but the bottle looks like you should be able to buy it in the dollar store. So that comment hurt me because I was really attached to that label, but it fell in line with me not wanting to be upfront with the bottle. So I just started brainstorming, picked up some literature on marketing and packaging, and I fell in love with the idea of, with the product being 100% deglet dates, I fell in love with the idea of the packaging being having more of a wine glass look, more of an elegant look. And right around that time, I was designing this. Me and my wife, we went to Grapes and Hops, which is the wine, store here in town. They have 2 locations now. It used to be 3, but now they have 2. And I went in there and we were picking out wine, and we don't drink, and I don't drink wine like that. So I pick wine by what the label looks like. May sound weird, but I'm like, ooh, I like that label. I'm gonna grab that. And I remember saying to her then, I said, when I get my bottle, I'm coming back to Grapes and Hops, and I'm gonna ask them if they would like to partner and allow me to sell my dressing in their establishment. So that's exactly what I did. I picked up my cases on a Saturday in Charlotte, came back, went to Grapes and Hops on a Tuesday, sat down with their general manager. And the first thing he said was, I love the bottle. Of course, we will support you. And that's pretty much how that happened. So 2 days from picking up my first production run, I was in my first retail store, which was Grapes and Hops. At the time, all 3 of their locations.
One of the things that's interesting about your comments, Chris, is that I love wine. And it's interesting that depending on the label, how much more they can get for the wine, even though it doesn't have the rating. I agree with you. I think this is a classy bottle, and I think it'll actually draw a more premium price as a result of the way it's laid out.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That was definitely, and as far as the pricing, I upped the pricing. And I changed the pricing when I realized that, because, it was initially made for salad dressing. My customers changed it. They started using it as a marinade. They were sending me photos, posting on their social media. You know, I marinated chicken and my steak with this salad dressing. And I looked at my wife, I said, no, this is a salad dressing. My wife said, no, take it and run with it. Use this to make it more of a premium product and possibly increase the price. So I revamped the marketing, and that's why today it is also a marinade and a salad dressing.
I also like the fact that you include the customer comments, because we always want to know if somebody's tried it. And I like the fact that some of them telling the different ways that they're using it, which goes back to what you just said.
Yeah, they have tons of different ways. They're putting it in meatloaf, pouring it on pizza, eggs. Some of the things they're saying, I'm like, what are you doing? It's really funny to hear some of the things they're eating it with, but I'm glad that they love it.
But it's good you include that, because now I may not have thought of using it that way. You're going to draw even more customers this way.
Yes. I do have a friend that is working with me. We are doing a digital cookbook, and she's doing the recipe. She's a chef. She's a chef as well. So she's doing the recipes, taking the photos, and pretty soon here we will have a digital cookbook to possibly sell with the product as well.
So Chris, how has the pandemic affected your business?
None at all. None at all.
Any supply chain issues trying to get your ingredients or anything of that nature, or your bottles?
No, not at the moment. Early on, my bottle was actually a square bottle. It was I can't think of the word that is called, but it was a square, longer bottle. So early on, while I was sourcing the bottles with my co-packer, we figured out that obtaining that particular bottle was going to be an issue. So we switched to this bottle. So this bottle here was not my first go-to bottle, but it is what it is today, and I'm okay with the bottle now. But originally, it was a square bottle.
I agree with Ken. I like the bottle. I like the packaging, so I would keep it.
Yes, definitely.
Athena mentions that you could also check out Dirtbag Ales Farmers Market on Sundays to enter the Hope Mills area.
Oh, yes. I'm familiar with Dirtbag. It's just a matter of filling out the application, going there. I tend to focus on events that are free, but maybe next year, maybe I will get on the Dirtbag Ale circuit, and that way obtain more customers, because they do have at least 600 to 700, 800 people going through there every Sunday. So it is a lot of potential customers out there.
I can't remember, but I think their prices, they may have gone up, but it's like $25 a table or something.
Yes.
I hope you don't have to sell too many bottles to cover the $25.
No, I sure don't. I know I looked into their German, I think it was their German market or German fair that they're having. I know those tables were going for $500, but you could share it with another booth partner and split the 500. So, it just depends. I think next year I will definitely be seen out there at Dirtbag Ales and many other places. So.
The fall is also a great time to hit little craft festivals and that kind of thing in the Eastern North Carolina region, especially up and down the coastal area. That on the weekends they'll have little crafts festivals, and usually the table prices are not very expensive for something like that. But if nothing else, you get your name out in more North Carolina and you direct them to your website so that they can buy future purchases of your dressing. So
Right.
that's another way. Plus, it's gorgeous weather in the fall in Eastern North Carolina. So, it's not a bad thing being outside at a craft festival.
Yeah, definitely. I will be at the Fayetteville Botanical Garden during their botanical garden at the lights event. So I will be there. So I do visit, certain events. It just depends pertaining to my schedule. If I have anything else going on with the family, because my wife likes to remind me, you are retired. So she likes me to, spend time on the weekends as well. But yeah, I know definitely next year I will bump up my events. I'm gonna try to be in more places. Definitely with having, 2 products, I'm definitely going to need to push those products with a little more intensity.
And make sure that you're showing up to events that your target market will attend, because this is $11 for a bottle of dressing.
Mhm.
It's made specifically for maybe those who are more vegan, more celiac, and they're going to be more apt to make that kind of purchase than the regular run-of-the-mill Joe Blow, right?
Right.
So you want to show up where that clientele is going to be hanging out and will cater to that kind of need.
Definitely.
Chris, when do you anticipate your hot sauce being available?
So it is on its way to the entrepreneurial lab for testing. This is where the ingredients panel will be produced. I spoke to my co-packer last week. He is estimating I could have my first production run by mid-November. Yeah, by mid-November. And I tell you one thing I like to do, since I have an audience, is I would like to show you the label. We just finished the label design this week for my date hot sauce. Can you all still see this screen here?
We see your file manager.
Oh, okay. All right. So here it is.
Way cool.
I wanted it to look just like the original date balsamic vinaigrette, but just with different colors. I didn't want to change the theme or the I didn't want to change the theme too much. I wanted it to be noticeable, still have that elegant feel, but just add that fire, that hot sauce look to it. And there will be some more slight changes as far as the wording and the ingredients panel once we get that back from the state. But as far as everything that's in the middle, that's pretty much it for right now.
Chris, I think you're more of a marketer than you give yourself credit for. That is really good. I was really anticipating when you said you had another one coming out, what the label would look like, and hoping you kept the consistency there. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like the new label, but I will tell you that for a while I wasn't looking at the actual picture and graphics. I was too busy reading your nutritional facts. And being
So those
stuff.
facts are from the balsamic. So we didn't change those, but those are the facts for the balsamic vinaigrette.
But I'm also liking the fact that I'm reading no high fructose corn syrup and all the other stuff that gets added into our food.
Right.
And I think you need to emphasize that, because That's important.
Yes, it is.
That's part of your competitive advantage, and you really need to play that up.
You know, I'm going to agree with you somewhat, both you, Cindy and Lori, but I will tell you that as Kim brought up with regard to your target market, they read labels. I fit that target market. When I see no added sugar, that's the first thing you got up there. I'm interested. So I think it's big enough. I just love the center graphic, and I think that would sit really nice with your other products. I hope you continue to do that as you add products, and it'll look beautiful on a store shelf.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I like the fact that it's similar to your other one, because now I can find your product by looking at your graphic. I don't have to do a lot of hunting for it. It will immediately jump out at me. So if you're on a store shelf, I will find you.
Yes. Yes.
And I like the low sodium. Good job.
And so
Thank you.
we also have a question from Marcus in the chat. He wants to know if you'll do different levels of heat. So like a mild, medium, hot, for people that like different levels of spice.
You know, I was thinking that over with my wife. I don't know if I'll do different levels of heat. I think it would just depends on the feedback. Because I do know the date hot sauce, my level of hotness is pretty hot. My wife says she wouldn't eat it. But the flavor is there. The first thing you taste is the sweetness, but also that level of heat can be controlled, you know, by how much you do apply to your product that you're eating at the time. It could happen, you know, I'll never say never. It definitely could happen. I do know my third product will be a date barbecue sauce, which in the very beginning, my date barbecue sauce recipe, which is already made, I've already created it. I just chose not to go with it second because I feel that the hot sauce market is a little oversaturated. So I definitely wanted to apply something to the market that I don't feel that's out there with the combination of dates and spice as well. But after that third product, I'm going to step away from the dates and I'm going to start to package some of my other recipes that I have.
Hey, Chris, first off, thank you for your service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Hey, what does your market research tell you about hot sauce? I noticed you just made a comment about the market is oversaturated. There's a lot of research out there about hot sauce. So what did you find it to support that the market is oversaturated?
So with the so I mentioned that with the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
I looked at all of the current barbecue sauces that you could find in your local box store.
Yeah.
I did look at the flavors. There's not a lot of different flavors, but to me, I would like to think that what is it? Is it Baby Ray's? Is it Baby Ray's? I think that's what it's called.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Sticky Fingers.
Yeah.
Baby Ray's.
A lot of those barbecue sauces, I've noticed that once a person gets their favorite barbecue sauce, they pretty much tend to stick with it. And I like to call store-bought barbecue sauces, they're basically sugar. Whether it's brown sugar, cane sugar, brown, a bunch of molasses. I just feel that the barbecue market is oversaturated, and it is something I think it would have been. I felt it would have been hit or miss, no matter how good my product was. So I wanted to go with something that was different. rather than ride the boat of what everyone else is doing. I wanted to go with I wanted to bring something different. And I have a saying that sometimes I think being different is better than being better. So the date hot sauce is definitely different. And I felt I would, I felt that would do a lot better than the barbecue sauce.
Let me share. I want to share a true story with you. I was over at Pinehurst a couple of weeks ago. I was over there with my wife. She had surgery. But anyway, I stopped at a couple stores when I was in Pinehurst, and I noticed that there was a food truck that was set up, and the guy was selling hot sauce and barbecue sauce, and the way he packaged it was in mason jars. And it was really key with the labeling and totally what you were saying. It's like, this is what sets my product apart from all that stuff you're going to find in Harris Teeter or Food Lion or Walmart. And I share that with you that, I think you definitely got the right passion. You got the right direction. But if you really want to set yourself apart, then maybe that's an idea. I'm not saying that's what you do, but that's just an idea of what this guy was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And then I want to touch back with what Cindy said earlier. We're going to buy the product because the product is good. We'll also buy it because you're behind it.
Right.
But if that product is great, we're buying it.
Right. It's great. It's great. I go through approximately 4 cases a week at Pate's Farm Market.
Yeah.
2 cases a week at Grapes and Hops, although they are going there to buy wine. But now that I'm there on a regular basis doing my tastings, they know what it tastes like because it's a new product.
Yeah.
I'm going through 1 case a week at Home Food Market out in Rayford, and I'm going to be there today from approximately 11 to 3. So once I get those repeat customers that already shop there tasting it, they know what it is, they know all the different applications they can use it. Once I do that at a location, the sales really increase from week to week.
This guy with this food truck, he was using his barbecue sauce and hot sauce. The tastings he was using was with barbecue. And he would serve it in these little tubs, and then you would be able to apply whatever sauce, that he had there, to the barbecue product, to the pulled pork. It was really something that, when I saw it, I was like, God, this guy is really, he's really trying to sell his sauce and his barbecue at the same time.
Yeah.
Another way to do it is with plain old saltines.
Oh, yeah.
But we can talk about all that if you want to. We go in a long thing, but I think it's real important your positioning as a higher end product and priced at a premium price.
Yeah.
Your packaging, everything reflects it, and getting distribution in the right places. Really, really important. I don't think they sell Rolex watches at Walmart last time I looked. Not that I'm in the market for a Rolex, but you got to be in the right place. It's one of the key components of the marketing mix. And you're doing the right things. You just need to scale it up. And, we can talk about that. It gets a little involved. And Lori's about to cut us off anyway, because 10 o'clock,
I would never do that.
Sure.
With that being said, I'll take the last question, Chris.
Okay.
What can this community do for you? How can we help you?
I would say definitely with the support that Mr. Hill mentioned. I'll definitely be taking him up on that. I think just being around like-minded individuals, such as yourself and the folks that's on this Zoom, I think that's more than enough help, because a lot of you have already reiterated things that I've been thinking, but just haven't moved yet on, because at the same time, it's just me. And that's why I mentioned in one of my 3 needs would be the marketing aspect, because although I feel I do have a good knack for advertising and getting things done, but I understand the power in a team effort. I understand the power in a brainstorming session with like-minded individuals. You know, I would love to say once I make it, oh, I did all this myself, but there is no limit when there's a team with one focus. So, you know, being around like-minded individuals, and then of course, you know, you all can share my product with your friends and family, buy it for gifts, mail it out, ship it across the world. That'll be great. But I think just being around like-minded individuals such as, you know, yourselves is more than enough assistance.
It's funny you should mention that, because I wanted to take a moment here at the end of our 1 million cups to announce something to our group. And that is currently there's over 180 cities that have a 1 million cups audience. And this year, out of the 180 across the United States, plus some outside the United States, our city has won the Community Cheerleader Award out of all the other 1MCs, which is, it says the community cheerleader has consistently cheered on presenters, and the larger national 1MC community, they celebrate all wins and maintain a positive perspective. So congratulations, Fayetteville. Okay, Lori, back to you.
So Chris, we really appreciate you coming and telling us a little bit about your business and some of the struggles that you have. I have to reiterate that we have a small business center here that could be of great assistance to you. I also think that marketing oftentimes is overlooked. So I'm glad that you see that you're deficit in that area. So the Small Business Center can definitely help with that. And again, surrounding yourself with a great team to help bring your idea to fruition is essential. So
Yes.
I'm glad you recognize that again. We would love to invite you to come back and tell us about how things are going and how Mr. Hill was able to get you into Walmart, if that's what you desire. He said no.
No Walmart.
No Walmart. So we would love to have you come back and let us know how things are going for you, and talk a little bit about that barbecue sauce that you're hoping to put on store shelves soon. Again, it was a pleasure having you. I'm always here to help. You have my information and we'll be in contact. Thanks everybody for coming and sharing your time with small business and entrepreneurship in our community. It is the backbone of our country. So it's a pleasure having each and every one of you. I hope you come back next week. We have Dr. Jennifer McCall coming. She's going to come and talk about Sea Talks research. A lot of things going on with our ocean, oceans of opportunity. She will come and discuss her business. So we hope to see you back then. You guys have a great week. See you next time.
Thank you.
Chris, you are aware that we have one other 1 million cups in cities in North Carolina, correct? Or not?
Yes. Yes. I'm with a organization called Veterans Grow America. And they talk about the 1 millionth cup a lot. And they also talk about the Rosie Network. So I'm with the organization who definitely mentions it a lot. Yeah.
Well, we have one in Robeson County, and there's also one in Wilmington, RTP, Asheville, and Lake Lure. I would encourage you, especially in the Wilmington and Robeson County, to apply to present for them as well. It gives you an audience in their, an opportunity in their area to spread your message.
Okay.
Wilmington would be a fantastic opportunity for your product. That would be a great market to tap into. So I would strongly encourage that. And D. Mearns, I was impressed. He knew all about 1MC. He just didn't know about how to go about applying to present. So I was, it was an honor to be able to provide that. But Chris, you'll actually go back to 1MC Wilmington and apply to present the same way that you did for us.
Okay.
And again, I think Wilmington and even RTP would be a fantastic market for you to tap into. You do have a specialty product. Not everybody's going to be willing to pay that $11 for a salad dressing. However, those that are very conscious about their health and sugar and that sort of thing, that is your market. And so you
Yes.
definitely want to, those would definitely be areas that I would be looking to talk to.
And don't
Thanks.
forget Asheville, because that tends to be
Yeah,
an.
Asheville is a fantastic opportunity as well.
Well, that's,
Okay.
I was going to share that with you, Chris. Have you been into the Charlotte area or Asheville or out in the western part of North Carolina?
Only for brief instances, maybe to visit for a day or two.
Yeah, okay. It's an untapped market out there, Chris. I'm gonna tell you.
And Wilmington, Charlotte, Asheville, and Wilmington.
Yep.
All right.
And there
I'll
is
make a
one
note.
in Robson County, which is in drivable range for Fayetteville. So
Okay.
And RTP, you start talking about Apex, Cary, those areas, I would definitely see that would be advantageous to you as well.
Right, right. One of my newer retail locations is in Apex. Yes.
I didn't know if Ken Hill was still on here. I think he's gone. But have you thought about, do you know anything about Wegmans?
I've heard of it before, and I think I may have seen an ad or so for them. Yes.
Love Wegmans, Chris.
Yeah, that's why I was going to ask Ken Hill, and I'll probably email him, and you should do that as well. Wegmans
Okay.
is a huge opportunity.
All right.
I wouldn't go with Walmart, but I'd definitely look at Wegmans.
I was just picking with Kent, so.
I still like the idea of the Cracker Barrel retail stores. If you could crack that little walnut. Because they have those little things that you can buy while you're waiting to get into.
Oh
Cracker Barrel.
yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of impulse buys are made right there, Dean Burns. I have to attest.
I would continue to pressure Whole Foods Market too. That is your target.
Right.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you do want to stay a little bit on the upscale market. You're not ready for, I don't think, to go the route of the Walmarts because you
No,
don't hit the
no.
upscale market there.
no.
Right.
That's why I was suggesting Wegmans.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I wonder
Okay.
about the market at Walmart, so.
No, I think you're going a good route and it's a manageable route for you. Right now, you're not ready to devote, your entire life to it because like your wife reminds you, you are retired.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of time for all that time she spent with you traveling the world.
Right.
So I think you're on the right track. I think Kent and his crew over there could really help you because it is a free resource and they can answer a lot of questions and help you avoid any pitfalls and mistakes.
Right.
I think it's a great resource. And again, it's one-on-one, it's confidential. So you're not going to, give away any trade secrets. But I think you've got a great start and I think you're going to hit that road. You're already on that road of success. I think you're just going to continue down it.
And
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have to agree with the Dean that the Small Business Center, Mr. Hill, is a great resource, great avenue, especially to help in areas that you may be deficit.
Right.
And it's free, so please
Hmm.
take advantage of that.
Sure will. I definitely will. I definitely will.
So we thank you for coming today. It was very
Thank you
interesting.
so much for coming. We really enjoyed it. I do want to thank my students that came today. We'll be in contact. I'd love to hear what you think about 1MC as a whole, and again, our entrepreneur that came to talk today. See you guys next week. Thank you, Chris. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.